It's always a pleasure to come and share the Eucharistic celebration with you here at St. Catherine's. And it's kind of confusing for myself because earlier this week, and especially last evening, I was helping out at another St. Catherine's, but this time St. Catherine of Siena in Crescent, rather than St. Catherine's of Sweden here in Wildwood. But as I was helping out at that other parish over these last 7 days, I have to share with you in some way that it seems like it was about 7 months that transpired over this last week. Because there was just so much that was going on with work and commuting to the parish and doing all of these things that it just seemed to go on forever. And I think oftentimes we kind of have those weeks and those days and those months and perhaps even years along the way. But how wonderful it is for us to come in the midst of whatever insanity that we're having, to come to this place and to encounter our God. Because as we come and we celebrate this Eucharist this Sunday, I enjoy music, and so I was thinking about preludes and postludes in reflections to our readings. Because we know musically that prelude kind of sets the scene, sort of puts us in a mindset, gets us prepared for something. As we think about that postlude, what does it do? Well, it kind of sends us off with some thoughts, the things to carry us through, maybe that little musical refrain that circulates in our mind. And I think that concept of the prelude and postlude is even more important because of where we find ourselves liturgically. Because we know this coming week on Wednesday we begin the season of Lent. We begin Ash Wednesday. We begin those 40 days of preparation for the Paschal mystery, the passion, death, and resurrection of our Lord. And in some ways I think our readings give us a prelude to that season. Because we hear Jesus speaking about that need for forgiveness and forgiving that paralytic's sins. And we know that we are human beings and we struggle and we have those difficulties and we have those sins. We have those things that weigh us down. But yet we need to go to the Lord to find forgiveness. We truly need to go to the Lord to find healing. So that's the prelude thought. But yet in some ways I think we could also have that postlude thought because we're coming to the end of this first part of ordinary time. It was not that long ago that we celebrated Christmas and the baptism and the feast of the presentation of the Lord. And we think about all of those wonderful mysteries of Christ coming to be like us in all things but sin. And so we kind of bring that thought to a close, that period, but yet it opens us up to the other. And I think it is when we put those two thoughts together that we get that powerful message for us. Because we know that Christ is with us. We know that we encounter him here in this place. But even more importantly, we don't just encounter him here, we encounter him everywhere where we go. And I think that's the beauty of these 4 individuals who bring the paralytic. Because I think they were people of great faith. They were people who knew who Jesus was, and they knew that Jesus could help their friend. And so without any hesitation, with overcoming every obstacle, they bring their friend to the Lord. And that's the example for us. Because whether we're thinking about the close of that Christmas season, if you will, if we're thinking about the opening of the Lenten season, it's about us being disciples who share that good news. It's about us helping others to encounter the Lord, to find that healing, to find that forgiveness, to find whatever it is they need in their lives. And so we are those companions, we are those helpers. And so as we celebrate this Eucharist, as we reflect on these scriptures, as we think about our preludes and postludes, let's ultimately think about being disciples of the Lord so that we too can bring our sisters and brothers so that they can find healing, that they can find forgiveness, but even more importantly, that we can find those gifts for ourselves so that we might know the peace of God's kingdom right here and right now.